All right, y'all. First and foremost, give all praise, honor, and glory to the Most High God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, and the Son, the Hamashiach, or Hamashiach, who some call Yahawashai, Yeshua, Yashayah, Yahusha. We mostly know as Jesus Christ. I want to give another salute to True Nations, specifically that channel, True Nation World History. Recently did a video on who are the Herodians. And I did this a few years back. And no telling how long they've had this understanding. They just, may have done video on this thing prior, but a lot of Israelites are coming to this, or they might have known it and just never said nothing. You know what I'm saying? I was shocked when I was having a dialogue with Sakari, and that they knew it, and I was like, what? You knew this and you still teaching this like this? Like, what in the world? And then I asked him, I was like, well, why in the world did they convert Edomites? Why did they do that? Why didn't they just kill them? Why in the world did you conquer a people like the Edomites who had a perpetual hatred? Why in the world did you convert them? And for me, it's like, oh, well, maybe they didn't have the same feelings that you have. And then why is that? But anyway, let me let this thing play. And like I said, I done been called all kind of names and foolish and looked at crazy, like, nah, Brother Feeney is going completely off. But it's funny to see some of these things now coming out. And it's kind of, you get a little confirmation that yeah. Nah, Brother C, you ain't the only one that see that. That's just, it's there. It's almost common knowledge. You just gotta do the research. But this is definitely not taught within One West Israelism. You ain't see no IUIC video bringing this stuff out. They have recently they have talked about it, but they didn't go all the way. They didn't go all the way in on it, but they did talk about it. But when I was coming in, nobody was speaking on no Hasmonean dynasty and no Dawn, especially. Yeah, just basically the Hasmonean dynasty. Nobody was talking about that. Even brothers keeping the feast of Purim and so forth, and destruction of Nicanor, and doing these things, and probably don't know the history of the Hasmonean dynasty, and not really astute, not really well studied on the Maccabees. We should be able to dial that in. We should know that whole story. We shouldn't even need the book. We should know that whole story, how everything played out. But do we? Can we knock down the events? Can we knock down for, okay, well, this brother died, Judas Maccabee died, then what was the next brother that stepped up? What did he do? What did he accomplish? Who made the treaty with Rome? Who defeated the Greeks? Why were they fighting alongside? Come on now. Who fought against, can we label this stuff down? Can we knock this stuff down and know this stuff? Like, we saying it's our history. And it should be like that with a lot of the text, a lot of the story, the history of the text. You may miss some verses here and there on theology, but things that are historic, you should have that thing laid out like one could. It's people who can tell you about every Star Wars movie, every single one. Excuse me, y'all. I can tell you about every Star Wars movie, everything that happened, every Star Wars character, every Marvel character. They can tell you about the whole Marvel universe. We should have our history like that, and that's something that I'm striving to get to that point. But let me let this thing play, y'all. I know I get the blabber.
Let me see if I can get that in scriptures for you guys, just to prove. You know what? Actually, the Bible account won't give you that too much as an account, but the historical accounts is, again, which is why I want you to watch the previous Herodian dynasty lesson. The historical account is.
So they had a previous lesson. This ain't their first rodeo with this thing. They've been bringing this stuff out.
A man named John Hyrcanus, who was the high priest in Jerusalem at the time before Christ. He had made an escapade to convert the nation of Idumea, who are the Edomites, the descendants of Esau, forced converting them to Judean customs and laws. So they were essentially a vassal state. And this is nothing new. You see the same thing with Doeg.
Made them a vassal state like we were a vassal state to Rome.
Like the Edomite in the time of King Saul's reign. They were always around. They're a nation of people. They've always been around. They've always done things much the same like the other nations, that we did business and trade with. And we even have a particular
shout out to Judah Apollos
law, at least back then at that time. That's
hold on, let me play this other video too. Apologies. But he told you about the conversion. John Hyrcanus going out converting these people, forced them to be circumcised. And again, you have to know that so you'll understand what the Pharisees, even though they were believers in Christ, are saying that the Gentiles must do when they're coming in. They must also get circumcised like we did the Idumeans. All right, in order for them to come in, we had to circumcise them. We need to circumcise these other folks that's trying to come in also. Wasn't the issue of them coming in. The main issue was they need to get circumcised, man. That's what we do. And then you had the Jerusalem Council.
Of Israel as well as too. So the Maccabees, all that timeline and that history is pretty much the setup, the precursor rather, to setting up what we're talking about and just the political atmosphere at that time. So as I'm using this word political and politics, you need to understand this. The Herodians were a particular political party amongst other political parties in Jerusalem during the time of Christ, and before that. It's specifically a political party that's set apart for their bloodline heritage, being as how they are Idumeans, they're Edomites. Let me get you let me see if I can get that in the scriptures for you guys. Just to prove, actually, the Bible account won't give you that too much as an account, but the historical accounts is, again, which is why I want you to watch the previous Herodian dynasty lesson. The historical account is a man named John Hyrcanus, who was the high priest.
My bad, y'all. I sat there and played the same video. I hope they're not the same.
Let me see if I can get that in the scriptures for you guys. Accounts is, again, which is why I want you to watch the and converting them to Judean customs and laws. Around, they're a nation of people.
You know what, y'all? That was the same video. So that was it on that. I want to also shout out my brothers over there at Inside the Nation. Do want to share Inside the Nation. Hold on. Image. No. Let me take image off and take media source off. All right, Inside the Nation, they doing a debate or a dialogue tomorrow at 8:30 p.m. All right, salute to my brother Messenger Sent. The message sent. He did a video on this a couple days ago. And ironically, this is one of the first places that I seen someone talk about the Sabbath being instead of evening to evening, morning to morning. and there was a debate against Sakari, chief priest, Gorilla Hebrew, and Hassad versus Judah Mack. And what's the brother's name? Masha. Just for the lack of, it's something like that, but it's I think it's like Masha is short. What they call the brother. Salute to them. I seen them a few years ago, and maybe 4 or 5 years ago, and I went back and questioned everything that they were saying. And then I started researching, and then I started going down in certain hole. Then I end up having a debate about it. But you know, before that, you know, I showed the class. I even met a brother at Tabernacles, Brother Moshe. Salute to him. And he was shocked that we were both doing it that way. But I'm seeing more and more Israelites are starting to have that dialogue, or really wanting to get to the bottom of this thing. So salute to brothers, like I said, having these dialogues and going about trying to figure this thing out. You know what I'm saying? I end up having a debate. That's really the only time that I've been in a formal debate, where you had rounds and all of that stuff, and brothers was doing it, and I was putting in the chat, you know, questioning certain things, and then brothers was like, "Hey, you want to debate about it?" I'm like, "Well, yeah, okay," you know what I'm saying. But anyway, you know, salute to having those dialogues. You know what I'm saying? It's a place where you can have certain dialogues inside the nation. Y'all make sure y'all like, subscribe. Make sure you like, subscribe to Maccabean Revolt. Make sure you like, sub, and subscribe to True Nation, and the Messenger Sent. Man, y'all show them brothers some love. Show those channels some love. And again, pray this thing was edifying. Y'all be blessed. We'll see y'all on the next one. Shalom.